ladies and gentlemen, in the crypto space, some crazy things are happening today yet again. First of all, I've been telling you guys for a very long while that crypto will play an increasing role this election cycle. And right now, we're starting to see some very big signs of that. Take a look at this. Just in, President Biden's campaign team is reaching out to the Bitcoin and crypto industry on policy formulation. Reports of a significant shift in tone from the Biden administration with new willingness to understand digital assets. First Wall Street, now Trump and Biden, the political and financial establishments have woken up to Bitcoin. This was a prerequisite to mainstream adoption. Now we're just about there. But as I've stated earlier, this waking up is not a bad thing at all. There's a couple of bad ways to see it, mostly on the front that right now there are so many celebrities who've also gotten the idea in their head that crypto is a free farming simulator. CoffeeZilla posted, all these celebrities jumping in crypto for quick cash is pathetic. It's the same grift, same scam, same story as last cycle, just new bag holders. And what he's referring to here is a couple of guys like Caitlyn Jenner, Iggy Azalea, Rich the Kid, but now a whole wash list more. Davido, Trippie Redd, Antonio Brown. And you can kind of let that list roll for a little bit. So many of them have woken up. I'm warning you guys already though. Even though celebrity coins are pretty similar to meme coins in almost every aspect, in the sense that they've got no real value, will most likely at some point go to zero if just enough people get a little bit shaken up. And that, the founder, in this case the celebrity, has a lot of the supply. The contrary side to it is they could do really well before they hit the shitter, and theoretically speaking they could just become the next biggest meme coin, the next Doge. I'm just being honest with you. Small probability, but not impossible. Most of the time these tokens go to absolute zero if history is a good teacher, and it usually is. Here, for example, Kevin Hart, 6ix9ine, Shaq, I don't know who, I don't want to say anything that's not true. Tory Lanez, Ozzy Osbourne, Lil Uzi Vert, Kim Kardashian, Lana Rhoades. Tory Lanez again, Floyd Mayweather, Chris Brown, Trippie Redd again, Rich the Kid again, Soulja Boy again, Mila Kunis, DJ Khaled, Jason Derulo, Lil Yachty, Steve Harvey, Snoop Dogg. All of them apparently had a coin that they promoted basically go dead or fully rugged. And what they're just saying right now, what they're warning you of, is that most of these coins would just do really, really bad. Not, oh, maybe they'll do, no, just like full on minus 99.9. Anyway, that's the bad side. That some of them feel that all these regulatory ups and the fact that, I guess the president and people akin are opening up, they see it as an opportunity to go. However, potentially some heavy lawsuits will still flow though. I guess we will see shortly. In the meantime, they're also working on a different side. I mean, we've seen the banks put up crazy announcements. Digital Asset Conference, Thursday, this 27th of June, Goldman Sachs Digital Asset Conference. They're coming, all right? They're coming faster now because of all these beautiful announcements. And Patrick McHenry, the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, announced a Digital Asset, Financial Technology, and Inclusion Subcommittee hearing entitled Next Generation Infrastructure, quote, how tokenization of real-world assets will facilitate efficient markets. Pointing again towards what I said earlier, real-world assets, I think, could be one of the biggest sectors to take over the next few months, based on the fact that it's partially BlackRock's biggest sector. And as we can see here also from the regulatory side, they're looking into it because that's ultimately where the majority of the real-world application and real-world money is going to lie. But obviously, we've still got, different crypto cases. The Ripple case is going on. Uniswap, which we'll talk about in a second. Stuart Alderoty of Ripple said, crypto has emerged as a pivotal issue in the 2024 election. Ripple has continued to support policies and policymakers that move the U.S. forward. We must catch up to other major global centers that have committed to clear rules of the road for the industry. And the only point I wanted to make with this is that even though the US is on the right track, they're still very much behind. And they've kind of made things annoying by suing companies first, and now the SEC had to pay people back. In the debt box case, you have to pay back 1.8 million or so in legal fees and some other fines. But the Uniswap case, is it now over, or what exactly is happening? Because Biden's campaign ramps up the crypto industry outreach in surprising tone shift. But Hayden, the guy behind Uniswap, said too little too late. This is pandering crowd is missing the point. Dem establishment finally realized being anti-crypto by letting Elizabeth Warren run financial policy will lose elections. This is a big deal. Nothing politicians care about more than winning elections. It's a new era. But we kind of wonder what's going to happen with the Uniswap lawsuit and things of that nature. Then again, it was a Wells notice, right? Basically an intent to sue, as far as I understand, or an intent to investigate. 80% of the time, the SEC proceeds with enforcement about a month later. And since they responded, last week, we have about 3 weeks until they potentially go after Uniswap officially. And there's just hope right now that they will just get back and not do it, but prepare for the worst. Then again, I'll cover this more in depth in another video coming out in just a second, because I think one thing that many people fail to realize, though, is that every single time crypto works in a very similar fashion. And that, yes, right now we're seeing some different things like the regulatory ups and downs, the 180s and stuff. But ultimately, it's because all these institutions are coming in right now that all the politics want to open up, right? And because of all the crazy ETF inflows, everybody starts looking at it. And I guess partially also because stock prices seem to do really well once you've adopted Bitcoin. But ultimately, I think the most important thing to realize for people is, regardless of what happens on this front, regardless of or not, if anything else gets announced, we will see a pump. And I'm trying to lay that out in the simplest way possible. Throughout the next couple of months, we will most likely have some of the most crazy price action you could ever imagine. And people fail to realize this once it's happened or as it's happening, which is why I'm warning you right now that if we look back at this in about 6 months, but let's just say it to be really conservative, a year, we'll probably have such a crazy high price for Bitcoin. It's massive. Because I look back now at the videos I made in January, some that I made in November, etc., and even back in 2022 and some of the depths and back in 2023. And I remember thinking back then, and I remember now, along the lines of, hey, if I just keep buying, it'll all be fine. And I know that some people get worried, thinking, ooh, maybe not. Blah, blah. But even at these high prices, if you just, my own humble opinion, right, keep on buying, it's very, very hard to lose. It's only once you start getting scared of a red position, or if you think, maybe they'll ban crypto, and start doubt, then things can go bad. But as long as you stick with the strategy of just close your eyes and buy and look back at it in the near future, you'll be golden. And at that point, it's only a matter of which exact altcoins will you buy when. But that's a good problem to have. As long as you do not give up, I think you're all the way fine. Anyway, I could sit here for an hour explaining everything, but I honestly think you guys get it. Be careful with memes, though. I'm saying it again. Right now, it seems like a good trend for it, but I'm personally not a really big fan of coins like this. It's not sustainable long term. It's very, very risky, and I'm not sure if it's really good for the space. But on another side, sometimes it makes you good money. So yeah.